Alright everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Adrian here, 44 Degrees Motorbike Adventures. It's nice and sunny now. Got a few, I'd say 1 hour or two of sunlight before it starts getting dark. As you can see, the sun is just shining across the mountain there. I can't believe it was pouring raining a few minutes ago. I got drenched and now the sun is shining, the sky is blue, but this is Ireland. Anyway, if you've been following my videos, you know that I bought this bike here, the Africa Twin 750 RG07 1997. 5 months ago I bought this bike, and I brought it back home. I drove 2 hours. I rode 2 hours back home, and then after that I took for a few trips locally, just for Spain, just to get a feeling for the bike before I start dismantling and doing a lot of work. So if you haven't seen the videos that I done where I actually did all the maintenance on the bike, I did the valves, did the forks, air brakes, everything, so have a look at that. It's there now. So this 5 months I've been working very busy on this bike, so I didn't ride the bike that much, and quite a few people were asking me, do I still have the Transalp? Why did I bought an Africa Twin? Am I getting rid of the Transalp? Things like that. That was questions people were asking me, and also they asked me what's the difference between one bike and the other, but I couldn't actually say much because, as I said, I didn't ride the bike that much. But anyway, main reason I bought this bike was because I always wanted an Africa Twin, always. Main reason I bought it was because of that, but also because I want a bike that is a bit more capable to take me off-road than the Transalp. A Transalp, as you know, all of my videos, look how beautiful this place is now here, guys. This is the Ring of Kerry, and I don't know if you can see this, the sun is shining across the ocean there, and down further down is the Skellig Rock. But anyway, I want something more that I feel more confident to ride off-road, something more capable, and I was looking at DR650s, and but they are single cylinder. I want to also something that could take me comfortably on a journey. But anyway, so that's the reason I bought this bike. So in this video today, I don't want to go through and compare this one with a Transalp. I haven't actually had much time riding this bike yet to compare one with another. They are different actually. They're a bit similar in some ways, in other ways they are kind of different. But anyway, I wanted to make this video today just to give you my first impressions on this bike, and say that I'm really happy that I managed to get this bike. When I first jumped at this bike, when I was testing riding this bike, one thing I noticed was how nimble this bike is. It's such a different bike, like to ride it than the Transalp in some ways, because of the weight of the Transalp. Now, don't get me wrong, the Transalp, there's nothing wrong with the Transalp. It's a completely different bike in some way. But the Transalp feels more planted to the ground, even though it's a taller bike and it looks bigger than the Transalp because the tank and the fairing, the tank is much bigger. It's 23-liter tank. The Transalp is only 17.5, and it's you know, if you never rode a bigger bike before, you come from a small bike, it's a bit intimidating. But you know, it's taller than a Transalp, but like I felt once I jumped in, I felt like hey, this bike is really easy to ride, you know. The 21 front wheel didn't feel much difference for me, like on the corners. It handles very well on the corners, and that was one of my first impression that I had this bike, my first good impression, how nimble the bike is. It's not as forgiving as the Transalp is. You have to be right gear. The Transalp is much forgiving on that way, but I'm not going to compare it bikes now. But anyway, another thing that I actually was really impressed with this bike was I took off-road one day, just a little off-road, and it was with street tires. I think it was Maltesers or something like that, and it handled really well off-road, even though with those tires. It gave me such a confidence than the Transalp, because even though the Transalp has like all the setup for off-road, it's a heavy bike, and you have to be really sure what you're doing, because if you lose your balance, a bike will go down. Not that this one won't, but what I'm saying is this one gives you more confidence off-road. So anyway, that's the two things that really got me very impressed with this bike. Yeah, you gotta get used to this again. It's an old school bike, you know. It's a carburetor. It vibrates, but only in slow speed. I don't see much vibration when you actually go after 100 miles per hour. It's very smooth. The engine, for me, it's kind of strange, because not in a bad way. It's just that the Transalp is a V-twin as well as this one here, but the engine on this one sounds a bit different. When you on the speed and you open the throttle, it does feel like an inline four for some reason. Not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's like a really good sound. And even though I have the standard exhaust on this bike, there's nothing changed there. It has a kind of linear sound. It's not like a popping sound like the Transalp has, which is more distinct to V-twins, and this one it's a bit different. Sorry. I get that eventually. Anyway, power wise, as I say, this bike is pretty much the same as the Transalp. It's a 60 brake horsepower, same pretty much to Transalp. And but one thing I noticed is the torque of this bike. This bike is amazing. You open the throttle on this thing and it just goes. It's just unbelievable. It's I don't know, like the Transalp has a torque as well. Don't get me wrong, it has a really nice torque, but this one is just unbelievable. Look at this. It just wants to go, and it doesn't feel like when you're riding the Transalp, after 6 kilometers per hour, when you open the throttle, 6 miles per hour, 100 kilometers, when you open the throttle, sometimes I feel that I need to put the 6th gear, which it doesn't have. So it does that, you know. I think most owners of the Transalp 700 or the 650, it will be looking for the 6th gear, because the bike, it's louder, you know, and you kind of like get this notion that, well, geez, I'm in the wrong gear. But not with this one here. When you open the throttle, it just want to go, and it's just this zoom noising, and it won't just go, and it's unbelievable. I love it. Just do the business. And one thing I love about this bike is the fact that you can buy this bike now. They're not going cheap, to be honest with you. They're not, and the prices are getting higher and higher pretty fast. It's not that, it's just the fact that, like, if you buy this bike and ride it for 2 years, whatever, you still going to sell this bike for the same price that you bought. The prices don't devaluate, you know, not like other bikes where you actually buy the bike and after a year the bike is half of the price that you bought, or, you know, even worse. Another thing too that I really was very impressed with this bike, this is a standard windshield here, and I was so impressed on how it handles the wind. You can go 100 miles per hour, and your head is, there's no wind to come on your face. I'm 5'11", and on the Transalp I had to change the standard to a touring screen. And even though when I changed the touring screen, I took for a ride for field, it was terrible because I got such a turbulence on my head, and after 6 kilometers per hour my head would go like that, and then eventually I had to get a spoiler. This one here, the way it is set up here, you don't feel anything. I don't know if like a touring screen here would make it better or worse, because yeah, that definitely will give you more protection, but I wondered if it would happen the same thing that happened on my Transalp when I changed it and I had to put the spoiler. So anyway, this one will stay, and for now I couldn't believe like how these lights here are so good, and it's just the standard lights. This is not changed, it's not LED. It is, to be honest with you, it is better than my Transalp, because I tell you, I lit this on, put on the full, and it was, I could see everything, you know. So do I probably need spotlights? Not sure. I think this might be fine, I don't know, but that day was perfect. Now I know if you are doing travel at nighttime, the better the view, the more view that you have, the better it is. So that was a comfortable view for me to come home, but I know for a long trip maybe spotlights would even better. But I was very impressed with that because it's a 26-year-old bike, and the lights was just amazing. Anyway guys, so I don't want to make this video too long, and so this is my first impressions that I have. Am I happy with this bike? I'm very happy. I'm really glad that I did bought the bike, and I'm very glad that I actually stripped the bike apart and did, because I found quite a few things that I didn't expect it. So you can have a look at the video there. This is Valencia, and that's the Valencia ferry that connects to Karsavin on the other side. I'm not sure if the ferry still works. I think it is. This car is here waiting. We're gonna go to Pomegay, but anyway, all right, so guys, so this is it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you haven't seen the other videos, please do, and click the thumbs up for me there, and it helped me a lot. If you haven't subscribed to this channel and you like the content, please do. It helps me keeping myself motivated to come up with videos like that. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching, and ride safe, and when I see you next time,